What happens when you keep tripping over the same thing over and over again? We'll talk about it right after this.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
So you're trying to achieve something and you're trying to get there and you just keep making the same mistake over and over. Yet you can't figure out why this keeps happening. It's that time, that moment when you really need to look back at those mistakes that you made and figure out what it was that made you make them. Don't be barred down by your past. Don't let your past dictate what's going to happen. If you come from a place that isn't very positive-minded, that doesn't mean that you can't be. History, for us individually, and even for us as a people, is really there so we can study and know what things worked and what things didn't. There's things that I do every day that I kind of regret doing. You know, it's a time waster. I mean, even if it's something as silly as playing a video game, like I think, why did I do that? I should have been doing something else that was more productive of my time. But I learned from those little mistakes, and the next day I'm able to apply it and say, you know what, I'm going to set a timer. So that way I'm going to be able to finish what I'm supposed to finish, and I can enjoy this little free time that I can basically let my oodles kind of seep out and then get back to work. And maybe it's something that's even more serious, like maybe it's alcohol, or maybe it's food addiction. I know there's a lot of people who struggle with these kind of things, and I'm one of those people. I struggle with many things, just like everyone else. But it's one of those things where when you look in your past, you don't say that's what I'm always going to be and that's what I'm always going to do because I've done it for so long and I can't get out of it. Instead, you should look at those things and those circumstances and say, what could I have done different to make sure I don't fall into it? And you're able to now change your actual future, your present and your future, based on the mistakes that you've done in the past. But don't let those mistakes be for nothing. You don't want it to just be that you're going to do the same thing today as you did yesterday and the month before. Those changes need to happen. Look at the things that you did not do successfully, find out what it was that made it not successful, and then change it. So of course, like every video, we got to sync it up with something with Disney. So today we get our reference from The Sword in the Stone.
Man will discover this in centuries to come. And he will also find that the world is merely a tiny speck in the universe.
Universe?
You're only confusing the boy. Before you're through, he'll be so mixed up, he'll be wearing his shoes on his head. Man has always learned from the past. After all, you can't learn history in reverse. It's confusing enough, for heaven's sakes.
I love that phrase. That is so true. Like, you cannot know history in reverse. You can't know the future, know what's going to work, basically, is what it's saying. You got to learn from what's worked, what hasn't worked, what's weighed you down, what maybe you fell through. You got to figure that out so you cannot do it again in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos where every week I do a video just like this one, hopefully bringing you some encouragement, some inspiration, all through the magic of Disney. Have a great night, day, weekend, whenever you're watching this, and as always, stay magical.